Furthermore,
Some scholars are saying that. You're not saying that.
Most of the Book of Chronicles you shouldn't believe. So this is not the issue. I'm not going to discuss the issue here, but we should think.
You're saying that's the view of many scholars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it depends. At any event, we are talking now about a person that lived in the times of King David, that is the 10th century BCE. And in the Bible itself, it is a book was attributed to him, and that book disappeared. So we, the Jewish people, and anyone who knows anything about classical world of literature, we know that most books from antiquity were lost during the ages. Some claim that it's about what we have at hand. For example, if we are thinking of Aeschylus or Aristotle or any classical work that we have at hand today, some say that we have only about 2% of what was circulated in antiquity. We do not know. It's a surmise. We do not know. So, but the Jewish people, since we had a lot of tragedies during the ages, it is most understandable that books could be lost. Very simple to understand that. Now, we have no idea, nothing like that is mentioned in the Talmud or the Midrashim, so we cannot verify, we cannot say anything about that book. So, after a long silence of about, according to this scheme, of about 2,800 years or so, here it comes that in Cochin, India, that is, if one think of India as the subcontinent as a kind of a triangle, so down and west of India, there is a place named Cochin, southern to Goa, or in the land of Malabar. And there was a Jewish community that lived there for many centuries, at least, if they are not from the days of the Talmud, that is the Roman period, so at least at the 10th century, a Jewish community was established there.
Wait a minute. So you're saying they could be from Talmudic times. Could they be older than that? Like, for example, talks about how Solomon sent merchants to Ophir, and some people have said Ophir is Sri Lanka.
Okay, now first, let's make it clear. Ophir is not Sri Lanka.
Okay. Where is it?
Okay. Who said it's Sri Lanka? I'll tell you privately. But the bottom line is, here's another coincidence I'm talking about. I am looking for Ophir for decades. I began my studies on this subject ever since I discovered this manuscript in 1981. And now I can assure you, and I'll send you my paper on it, that Ophir is Sopara, or Nala Sopara, which is about 30 miles northern to Mumbai.
So it's in India.
It's in India. Sure.
Okay. So there's, and the significance there again for people is that Solomon sent out some kind of a trade mission with boats from Eilat to a place called Ophir to get gold.
Absolutely. And we are talking about northern India, not southern India. It makes a lot of a difference during those times.
So is it possible that there were Jews in Ophir or Israelites in Ophir, meaning like maybe not a lot, but there was at least a trade mission or something that might have permanently been there?
No doubt there were Jews there, but I do not think that these Jews, well, some say that people that are named, the community that is called Bnei Israel, are descendants of these mariners who went there, the Judeans and people from Phoenicia that came together in a joint venture to Ophir, that is, as I told you, about Sopara, north to Mumbai. They could have been their Jews, but we are not talking about a community or Jewish community there. We are talking about a much different community, just as there is no connection between Jews or non-Jews, whoever. In New York to Dallas, there are no connection whatsoever between Jews in Cochin and Mumbai. So let's go to Cochin. So in 18th century Cochin, there was a community, and among these people lived their leader, a rabbi, and most of all a merchant. Whoever knew him, all of them non-Jews, described him as a very unusual person and said very nice, unusual things about him. His name was Cheskel Rahabi. Now,
how do you say
Rahabi,
what is it?
Resh, Het, Bet, Yud. Rahabi, probably a descendant from Yemen, where there is a district or a county named Rahaba. By the way, many people, there are many, the name Rahabi is well known among Yemenites until this very day in Israel.
Okay. And it wouldn't be surprising that a Jew would come from Yemen to India, because that was part of the international trade route, right?
Definitely. That's not surprise at all. I want to explain it. Very simple. Because if you take a ship at that time, I mean, in the Middle Ages and even before that, from around the 4th century BCE until the 16th century and even later, if you take a boat from Aden, which is in southern Yemen, and you don't do anything, just make sure that the sails are well enough, and after about, you don't do anything, after about 40 days, you land in the land of Malabar. Very simple. And if it's not Cochin, it's a bit northern or a bit southern to Cochin. So the were connection, not only that, it's these connections were not only of trade, but of marriage and even more, and even Torah.
I'm sorry, so what was the word there? Or what?
Married each other. Oh.
And by the way, there's a Torah scroll at Cambridge that I've personally examined, which also came from the Malabar coast, and it's 100% a Yemenite Torah scroll. That's it. If it wasn't written in Yemen, it was written by a scribe from Yemen.
That's absolutely.
Probably it was written in Yemen.
Absolutely, because many people in Cochin, not all of them, but many of them came from Yemen, and we know that from their names, like Saidi, for example, is definitely a Yemenite name.
Okay, so a lot of the Jews in Cochin have roots or connections with India.
Absolutely.
With Yemen,
absolutely.
Rather. Yemen.
And not only that, during the 18th century, the people in Cochin and people in Mocha, that is Mocha, after which the well-known coffee is named.
Really?
Yeah. This is of today's Moha in southern Yemen. They were a kind of twin towns. And twin towns. That they were
twin towns. Okay.
Both.
They were sister cities, you're saying, Cochin and Mocha.
And they even made a kind of a festival at Cochin in memorandum of things that happened to their forefathers at Mocha.
So we have this Yechezkel Rahbi, who is a Yemenite Jew in Cochin in the 18th century.